Hi, are you doing Scrum, but you don't see the benefits of doing it? Maybe it's because you are doing Scrum without doing Agile. This video is for you that would like to see the big benefits of doing Scrum together with Agile. And I will teach you Agile in a much easier way because, come on, 12 principles and 4 values, it's nothing everyone can learn from. So I have comprehended everything into five things. And I've borrowed one of the symbols from Lean. Lean is very close to Agile. And as the house of Lean, we have the house of Agile. It's constructed from a foundation, 3 pillars, and then we will have a roof. Well, it's just 5 things because the roof, well, we take that later. So we start with the foundation. The foundation is the core values of Agile. The pillars are the strategy of Agile. And then the roof, well, that's a goal. So let's see what we will fill this in. So when filling the house, we start with the foundation. That is the core values. And of course, it's inspired by the 4 values of Agile. The core values, we start with the 4th value of Agile, which is responding to change over following a plan. That is actually the reason why it's called Agile. So it's continuous adaptation because the world is always changing and you have to change with it to become efficient in what you deliver. So continuous improvement and adaptation is one of the core values. The second core value in the house of Agile is close collaboration. And if you look into the Agile Manifesto, actually 3 of the 4 values is about collaborating in some way. For instance, individuals and interactions, or working software, so you can show something to a customer and get feedback from them, and it's helping you to collaborate. Or, of course, the third, close collaboration with your customers. There is a balance though, because you can't collaborate too much, because then you will have too much dependencies between teams, especially if you're a big company, this will be a problem for you. So to balance this, we have something called high team autonomy, the possibility to have teams that are actually working much autonomously but still need to collaborate. This will be the 2 core values in the house of Agile. Continuous improvement together with continuous adaptation, and close collaboration together with high team autonomy. That will lead us into the strategy, or the pillars of the house. And the first strategy is mobilizing brain power. This name comes from Matsushita, that is the founder of Panasonic. In the 1970s, he said that you Americans, he was pointing at, you will lose and we, Panasonic, will win in the hi-fi industry because you are dividing people into the thinkers and the doers, while we are actually mobilizing every ounce of brain we can find. And actually he was right later on in the 80s. If you go to the Manifesto, you will see 2 principles that is supporting this mobilizing brain power. Business people and developers must work together daily throughout the project. Build projects around motivated individuals. Give them the environment and support they need and trust them to get the job done. Going over to the second pillar of the house, the strategy fast feedback. Well, you never know what you have before you actually have it, and you can test it to the real customers. So we have to find a way to get really fast feedback and knowing, are we doing the right thing or are we doing the wrong things? And the only way to do that is actually to build it and test it to the customers. And again, looking at the Agile Manifesto, one of the principles that is supporting this is this one. Our highest priority is to satisfy the customer through early and continuous delivery of valuable software. So if you have a lot of people that is mobilizing their brain power to help you create the best product, they will actually be your sensors and also the analysts trying to figure out what is right and what is wrong. And you're working with fast feedback. You're testing things, small steps at a time. The result, of course, combining those 2 will be a lot of new knowledge that you will have. And this can be used, but you have to be able to do the right thing. And now it comes to the third. The third pillar is be able to react on new knowledge. And when I say that, I mean both technically, but also mentally able to react. And if we go for the Agile Manifesto, we will see what they mean with technically be able to react on new knowledge. So the first is continuous attention to technical excellence and good design enhances agility. And that is to be technically prepared for change. To be mentally prepared for change, this principle is much better. It says, welcome changing requirements, even late in development. Agile processes harness change for the customer's advantage. Now we're done with the pillars. The last part is the roof. And to be honest, there is nothing in the Agile Manifesto about the roof, which in the house is the goals. There's nothing about the goals. So it's up to everyone to interpret what all those 5 things are actually coming to. And that's why I said 5 in the beginning of this video. So, well, my interpretation is if you follow those 5 things, what you will get is high sustainable value. Because we're not looking for short-term value, we're looking for the long-term value. And actually we get that with low risk, because we take small steps and we're always evaluating while we are continuously improving and adapting to get the best result. So the question is, what can we use this for? Well, I will show you how you can use this together with your Scrum process. Okay, going back to the original question, are you doing Scrum without Agile? Well, look at your Scrum process. It probably starts with the backlog, the product backlog. So you take a part of that during the planning meeting and you create it into a sprint backlog. You work with it and you have daily scrums, you stand up front, in front of a whiteboard, and at the end you deliver something. You have your review and you have your retro. But wait a minute, are you doing this all to get fast feedback, for instance? Are you actually doing something so you test what you are releasing and you let that go back and influence your product backlog? Or your retro, is that really changing something? Do you have the autonomy enough to actually change something? Or is everything restricted by some person you have never even met who is deciding what you should do in your process or how your environment should look like? Can you do that? Can you influence it? And what happens at the end of a project when you get changed requirements? Are you calling that scope creep and you get angry about it? Well, then you're not doing Agile, you're just doing Scrum, and you probably not see the big benefits of it. So my suggestion is, go back to the Agile house and look at those different things. Could you mobilize brain power a little bit better? Can you get faster feedback? And are you able to actually change technically and mentally? Could you do something about the collaboration? Maybe there is another team that you should work a little bit better with, but you're not doing that. Maybe you can identify that team and maybe you can do something about it so you will have better collaboration. Or is it the team autonomy that is your problem? Maybe you should do something about that. So if you take the Agile house and you look at it and you look at the components and see what you can do, and you take your process and you implement Agile on that, well, I can't guarantee anything, but I will tell you that it will help a lot. So that is the end for me today. Thank you very much for looking at this, and I hope you will come back with some fast feedback to help me mobilize my brain power and do some changes in the future. Okay, thank you very much. Bye-bye.